Hello, you guys. Coming back with another video. This Fabio Hart. I want to thank you guys for definitely coming back. And what I want to talk about, I probably won't spend a whole lot of time with this. And well, let's just talk about why you may not be getting any new contracts. We're gonna talk about why you may not be getting any new contracts, guys. Okay. Um, and it's nothing that I haven't said before. It's just reiterating things that I've probably discussed many times over, and that is your pricing. Okay. Uh, and I know this for a fact because what happens is I get a lot of emails, I get a lot of calls. A lot of people say, well, Fabio, I'm just not getting any new contracts. I'm doing what you say in the videos. I'm going door to door. I'm picking up the phones. I'm trying new methods. I'm using online platforms, different things like that. And they still not getting any contracts. So it's like, well, Fabio, what am I doing? So as I sit and kind of talk to some of the people that email me and people that get on coaching and different things like that, and I kind of figure out and dissect what they're doing and what they're not doing, it boils down to numbers and marketing. What I learned early on, guys, because I understand what you guys might be going through in terms of trying to get contracts in the early on stages. What I had to do is, okay, well, when I first started going door to door, what happened was my prices, even though I had like a price breakdown, right? It came with my course at the time. I kind of marked the prices up, up, way up than what I should have marked them up for, right? So as I was going door to door and I was getting those walkthroughs, and people would tell me, hey, well, can you give us a proposal? Can you give us an estimate, a quote? What would normally happen is I wouldn't go by necessarily the numbers that I had on my breakdown at the time. I would, like I said, I would mark them up. Believe in getting reviews, current, previous clients. Well, boost your chance. Yeah, that's very true. Your previous clients. But I'm talking about for the people that have no clientele whatsoever, like people that's just starting out. They're not getting no traction. They haven't received one contract yet. They doing what I say do, and they're saying like I'm doing it, and I believe that this stuff can work, but I'm just not being able to get contracts. People are getting walkthroughs, but they can't convert that walkthrough to a sell. Okay, and like I say, I'm thinking that it's coming down to two things. The first is the numbers, and then I'm going to talk about the numbers. You want to bring your numbers in, guys, not too low, but not too high, right? You don't want to come in too high because really, to be honest, um, how did your sales game grow? What changed? One second. I'm gonna get to you guys' questions. Let me get this out. So what I found out early on, like I say, I had this estimate breakdown that came with the course that I ordered back in 2012, and it had a set numbers on it, right? Just fair numbers that you can get any contract with pretty much at the time. But I marked those numbers up, so when I would do the walkthroughs and look at the dynamics, how many times a week, what they actually need done, about how long it was going to take me to do. Like all of these are factors when you're putting your quote together, right? Well, like I say, I will mark it up thinking that, okay, I'm coming in just where I'm supposed to come in at number wise, and my numbers will be too high. So I kept getting no after no after no after no after no, and then I sat back and I'm thinking like, well, what the hell? What am I doing wrong, right? I got to be doing something wrong. What am I doing wrong? I couldn't figure it out. By the way, if you guys just joined me, why don't you go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. I'm definitely going to get to your questions. Keep them coming through. I just want to kind of get this out real quick because I get a lot of emails. People say, Fabio, I'm steady watching your videos, and I really believe what you say. I believe that it can work. It's just not working for me. Is it my area? What's going on? And like I said, I talk to a lot of people. They get on coaching with me or just, they send me an email and we get back to them. And when I get on the phone with them and I kind of dissect their situation, it boiled down to like the numbers. Like their numbers are incredibly high. And some people are using workloading software. I'm not a big fan of that, especially not starting out, because a lot of times these things are put together. The software is someone man-made put this software together, right? So it may not necessarily come in number-wise where it's supposed to come in at. So I'm really not a big fan of the workloading software. I'm not saying that it can't work and that it's not useful. It is. It kind of puts you plug certain things in, it'll do the job that it's supposed to do. But I'm not sure if you're at where you're supposed to be at, if that makes sense, guys. So don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you not to get anybody's software. If you have a software program that you use, I'm not telling you that it's bullshit or whatever. Just like be careful, because it's like I say, it's man-made, and anything that dealing with the internet or anything, there's always room. The way I look at it, it's always room for error, right? It's always room for a mistake somewhere, right? Whether it's a software program or whatever the case is. So I'm kind of textbook with it, a little bit old fashioned the way I do it, and I seem to get contracts that way. Okay. But like I say, it's either that you guys can actually get contracts at the numbers that you put in. But what you generally have to do, you might want to upsell something in conjunction to what they are already getting. So if you're already coming in a little bit too high and you think you're coming in a little bit too high, you might want to offer carpet cleaning. You might want to offer like window cleaning. Like for an example, at this contract right here, right? This is one of my largest contracts that you guys see I do the videos in. It's 4 buildings that take up 5 blocks, right? So it's a really huge deal. Okay, now they own a lot of property. Like these buildings sit on a lot of properties, okay, or a lot of land. Okay, the thing is that my company is responsible not only for cleaning the inside of the facility, but we're responsible for the litter, like on the outside, right? So we have to walk around the perimeter of the building, walk around throughout the plant area. And you guys, I gave you a tour before. If you watch some of my old videos, you'll be able to see kind of what I'm talking about. We're responsible for cleaning the outside. Okay, so that was considered extra for my company, right? Because typically we wouldn't normally do that. That's not typically what we would, put in a quote, right? In terms of something that we would typically market, I guess, if that makes sense. Okay, but we didn't want to turn it down. We didn't want to say, well, you know what, we don't normally pick up litter on the outside of a building. We're normally just handle the inside of the facilities. So we're gonna have to turn it down. We didn't want to do that, right? Because I didn't feel that it would be too much just to take the little, trash picker upper thing and, pick up the litter and, put it in the trash bag or in the dump or whatever the case is, and kind of keep it moving, right? So that would be extra, but that was something that I was able to kind of upsell to make that deal, make it worth the money. Okay, so for an example, if you guys going into a building and they say, we need a basic cleaning, this and this and this, we want this and this and this, you might upsell cleaning out the refrigerator, which for me would be extra. That wouldn't be something we would typically do on a every night clean. So you might say, well, once a week or every 2 weeks or so, we'd clean out the refrigerator, we'd do this, we'd do that, certain things at no additional charge to make the deal sweeter than it really is. Now, to be honest, as long as, like, we do the refrigerator clean outs too, right? So the sign beyond the refrigerator says, cleaning crew will be cleaning out the refrigerator on such and such a day. Please remove all items from the refrigerator, all right, or from the freezer. So we just wipe it down, get it together, clean it out, right, where they make a mess and things like that. And it really doesn't take a lot to do, right? But to the customer, it's a big deal. It sounds like, wait, the last company didn't do that, right? So that's something that you can upsell. So just small little things like that, guys, for the money that you're trying to get, like the bigger dollar, you have to make the deal a lot sweeter, okay? You have to make the deal a lot sweeter and still be able to make a profit on it. You don't want to overwork yourself. And in other words, what I'm saying, you don't want to charge a great deal of money and then overwork yourself for that great deal, right? You don't want to overdo it, but you want to make the deal sweet enough for you and sweet enough for them, okay? Okay, so either that or lower your prices, guys. You have to come in, you have to lower your prices because again, no one know who you are. I'm at a point now in my section or in my city where a lot of franchises walk into facilities that we currently clean and they can't get the deal. So what happens is a lot of times they, look us up, they try to figure out, how to contact us. They contact us and they ask us if we want to sell a contract, right? Because they're walking in a lot of our contracts they can't get in, right? Because we have it sold up. It's not that we uh, can't be taken over, if you will, right? It's just a service that we provide. The client likes it, the client love it, right? So they don't want to switch. They became accustomed to the way that we work, right? We efficient, we effective, right? So you guys have to be the exact same way. Either lower the money or lower your dollars when you do your walkthrough. Once again, because no one know who you are, or if you're going to come in at a few $100, or whatever the case is, for you know 3,000 square feet, 3,500 square feet, 4,000 square feet, you can actually make a few $100, right? You can really make a really good penny, especially if you're in suburb areas, right? The city don't like to pay, like metropolitan cities, they don't like to pay. But the outskirts of like any major, like a Chicago or Detroit, Atlanta, any major city, right, outside the suburban areas, they don't mind paying. They have the money, they don't mind paying it, right? I find the metropolitan areas, the city is a lot cheaper, right? They want it for pennies on the dollar, right? They don't really want to pay the ticket, right? But like I say, you can actually get this money, but you have to make the deal so sweet. So you have to upsell. You say, well, when you go in and do your walkthrough, you say, well, typically we would do this and this and this, but here's what we would do for you, okay? So to make it fair for you and I, right? And then you would tell them what extra you would do or what you would be willing to do, okay? That's one thing. Another thing is you guys can have what I like to call package deals, right? You can have package deals, different packages, preset packages set already in place for a building their size. So you can make it, let's say, go up to 5,000 square feet for an example, right? So you can say anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 square feet. On a package deal, we charge this for our A package, this for our B package, and this for our C package. The A package is just a general cleaning. I talked about this before, guys. It works terrifically because, again, people like options. People like options. When you go, to the restaurant, or you go, if it was just, let's say McDonald's, right? Everybody don't like McDonald's, but you have different burger joints now, right? You have Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, this and that, right? You got these different burger. So you have options. You don't necessarily have to go to McDonald's, right? If you go, you choose, but you have options, right? So people always love options, right? No matter what, people always love options. So if you give them an option, either way, you still make the sale. That's the way I look at it, right? It's either going to be your general package. It might be your medium or middle package. It might be your more expensive package, right? Either way it go, you made that sale. Okay. Okay. So that's the way you have to look at it. Again, guys, you have to be very, very creative. It's nothing like getting in all of these walkthroughs, which is what I'm hearing people say. They're getting the walkthroughs, but they're just not closing. They're not able to convert that walkthrough to a closing. And like I say, it could be the way you look. It could be your professionalism, how you speak, right? All of that come into play, guys. That's why I tell people, try to look your most professional. Okay, you don't have to have on your Sunday best, but look, you're going to be judged from the time you walk in the door. You're going to be judged, right? All the way up to doing a walkthrough. In many cases, you can walk in a facility and do a walkthrough the exact same day. Most people that I talk to think that you have to go in, find out who the decision maker is, come back and do a walkthrough. That's not why you're going in that building at that given time. When you go in the building, your idea should be trying to get that walkthrough. Because the quicker you get a walkthrough, the quicker you can get the estimate. The quicker you get the estimate in, the more likely you can close and then get them on contract. Okay? That's the object of the game. You want to get the walkthrough, get it done quickly as possible in terms of getting the job done. You want to be able to get your estimate in there, right? You want to turn your estimate in. I generally tell people 24 to 48 hours. I like 24 better because I don't like to make people wait. The longer you make people wait for an estimate, if they need your service bad, they're more prone to hop on the internet and find the next company in the area, right? So I don't like to make them wait. So again, you go, you do your walkthroughs. The object of the game when you walk in the door is not only to find out who the decision maker is and if they have a cleaning company, etc., but you also want to be able to try to get a walkthrough that same day if possible. Now, if it's not possible for whatever reason, you go out, you do it the next day, guys. Okay. Again, I have said this many times, but I'm just reiterating this stuff because it's very pertinent information. You guys, if you utilize it and you stay on it, you will get those contracts. But you have to look at where your numbers at. You have to look at what your numbers at. I don't know if you guys have a pay scale. I don't know how you guys coming up with the numbers. A lot of people tell me they guesstimated. I think every janitor, every commercial cleaner have done that at some point. You know, they looked at a facility and say, you know what, I think I'll charge X, Y, and Z. Okay. Do you believe in the follow-up with the unsold deals? Yes, follow up. Let me get some of you guys' questions in. Leon said, good to see you, Fabio. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. Yep. Just working, Leon. I don't know if you're still with me here. Work phone. Let me see. He says, how did your sales game grow over time? What changed? Well, it was a lot of trial and error for me. You know, it was a lot of trial and error for me. I kept the thing, work phone, I kept doing the same thing for an incredibly long time, right? Because I was trying to force what I was doing to work, and it just wasn't working, which is pretty much came down to my prices in terms of getting in the door. Like I was doing everything work right in terms of going door to door. When I was terrible when I first picked up the phones. Like when I first picked up the phone, I was just throwing out something. I tried to sound very professional. I didn't necessarily have a script, right? So I was just kind of winging it right on the phones. Now I would get scheduled walkthroughs and things like that, but I wasn't executing on it like I should have. Like I don't feel like I was productive enough, right? And then I would pick up the phones, you know, and I would call a gazillion places today. And then tomorrow I wouldn't call none, right? And then I wouldn't call none the next day. And then the next day after that, I would pick up the phones and try it again, right? That's not the way to do it. And that's not the way that I tell people to do it. That's the way I started off, which is why it took me so long to build the traction that I built. That's another thing that you can ask if they have a budget. A lot of times, and that's good that you said that, is you can't ask them if they have a budget. A lot of times they won't tell you because they want to see if you're going to give them something less than their budget, or they would give you what I like to call a make-believe budget. So they'll tell you a number that's really low, hoping that you can work with that number. Okay. And I learned that a long time ago. Or sometimes if they have a cleaning company, what happens is you ask, well, what are you currently, what are your current cleaner currently charging you? And then they'll say a number, you know, that they wish that the company was charging them, right? Hoping that you would say, you know what, I can do it for the exact same dollar amount. Matter of fact, I'll do extra this, extra that, extra this, extra that, right? And I've done that before. I think I've been suckered in. A lot of people have been suckered in like that before, where, you know, they give out a number. The number might seem relatively low. That's why you have to do your homework and the pricing. Some people will like, yeah. But see, you don't have a lot of time. That's the thing. You don't have a lot of time to do a lot of homework. Your homework has to be done before you even go door to door. Like you have to figure out what the market, what the base market rate in your area is. Like every area is different, right? So you have to figure that stuff out at the top. But then a lot of factors is considered, right? You can get the base rate in the bare market rate in your area, and then walk in and then they want so much done. They want this, that, and the third, right? So if you go by just that bear market rate in your area, for your specific area, your specific region of the country, it won't do you no good. That particular rate won't do you no good, right? So I like to tell people uh, to develop a pay scale, some type of pay structure, right? However you decide to do it, whether you purchase one like my estimate breakdown or something like that, or whatever, develop some type of pay scale to go off of, right? That don't mean you always have to charge exactly what's on that, right? You can lift the prices up or you could drop them down. It's your business, however you want to do it. But you want to have some type of pay structure, right? That way, because it just makes sense that way. Like, you won't always be confused every time you have to give your numbers, every time you have to put in an estimate or do a proposal. You can have some type of guideline to go by, right? And I tell people that all the time. But again, like I say, sometimes what you don't know does hurt you sometimes, right? So if you don't know certain things, or you go in and you guesstimate, and this another thing, right? Guys, please do not make the mistake of giving prices right there on the spot. Please do not make the mistake of giving prices right there on the spot, okay? Because what would happen is, a lot of times you'll go off an impulse, right? And you'll try to guesstimate. You say, you know what, this will take me about an hour and a half. You know what, I'll do it. They want me to do this, twice a week, hour and a half. And then you kind of guesstimate a price. And believe it or not, a lot of times you come in very low. You come in very low. I like to tell people like I always tell people, 24 to 48 hours. I prefer 24 hours, okay? But if you need that extra day, try to get the numbers in as quickly as possible, because you don't want them to forget about you, and you don't want them reaching out to any other company looking for service. So I generally try to tell people get the numbers in within 24 hours, okay? But the thing is, like I say, it's a lot of different factors, right? It's not just by square footage. Every company has their own little thing, right? So again, I feel personally believe that if you do more, you should get paid more, okay? Because the more you do, obviously, the more time it's going to take, right? So I feel like you should get paid. If you do more, you should get paid for it. But I don't think you should overcharge just because you're doing more. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing. Like, what's extensive cleaning or extended cleaning for me might not be the same for your company, okay? What might be a basic general cleaning for my company might be different for your company, right? So again, guys, all of these things are factors, like how many times a week you got to clean it, right? About how long it's going to take you to clean it, right? The square footage, the actual workload itself, what they need done, what they want done. Okay, so this is what you need to document when you go in there and you do your walkthrough. This is what, when you're doing your walkthrough, this is the information that you're collecting, the data that you're collecting. So when you go back home to put your numbers together, you can kind of evaluate what's going on. Okay, you can evaluate what's going on, what this particular building need, and then go from there. All right, and if you got some type of pay structure, kind of give you an idea. Even if you're gonna mark it up, or you got an extended cleaning, or you got extra cleaning to do, it'll kind of give you some idea, some type of guideline to go by. Okay, let me get back to the comments here and see what you guys are saying. Let me see. I've always asked if they had a budget. We talked about budget here. How much the percentage usually look for the profit once you... How much are going to cost you to do the cleaning? Leon, you want to know the percentage? Let me see here. That varies, Leon. That varies. The thing is, you really don't know. You really don't know, because number one, you have to see what the workload is going to be, right? The square footage of the facility. you know, the market is different. You know, that's, you know, like where I'm at in Michigan might be, you know, totally different than where you are, you know. So that's a factor. Like, it's a lot of different factors. You really won't know the percentage, to be honest. Now you can say I need to make X amount of dollars, right? Or I need to come in at X amount percentage, right? And then go for that. And here's another thing, guys. When and why it's fresh on my mind, the mistake that I made early on is that a lot of accounts I came in too low, and I still have these accounts today. And guess what? I'm not making no profit on those accounts. Okay, the reason I'm not making any profit on those accounts, had I did those accounts myself and continued to do those accounts myself, then it would be a profitable thing for me. But the thing is, guys, I came in far below where I should have came in, right? In the very beginning. Now, what I'm telling you guys is don't overprice it, but you don't want to underprice the job either. You underprice the job, you still got taxes, you got somewhat overhead, right? It's not very high overhead, but you have somewhat overhead. Let me see here. I'm gonna get to you guys questions. If you're just joining me, go ahead and like, guys. Go ahead and like. Get those likes up now. Help me, help you. Right? Get those likes up. So you don't want to underprice it, because what happen is when you go to put a body in there, you won't make any profit on those buildings, right? So I have a few buildings that I still have from 2012. Believe it or not, I have a few buildings that I still have from 2012, and it's not profitable for me right now. I even try to, you know, flip those contracts to somebody else, like sell them off. The client really wants me. The client, you know, we've been there for some time. We've got used to the building. They got used to the same face, that type of thing. So I keep that account only because my company is profitable right now. We're making enough money where I'm not really hurting so much for these few accounts that I'm not really making. Like we have good cash flow, right? So if it was hurting the bottom line, then I would get out the deal, or I would try to flip it or sell that contract off to somebody that might want to purchase it. But you know, number one, I don't want to cause the people that work for me to not have a job or to lose income. So I still have to pay them. And thank God I have what we call cash on deck, right? In terms of revenue, we still, you know, we profitable. So whether I'm losing money or not on that particular deal, I still have to pay the actual employee that works there, right? So you don't want to make that mistake, guys. You don't want to make that surprise. I have what we call an estimate breakdown form. It gives you the square footage and the price that you will probably charge for that particular square footage. That's what that is. I don't use software. Let me see here. Let me go back up, guys, to see. Hot dog. Let me see what hot dog is saying here. Some people will lie, saying that's what I mean. Pricing. Statistics, nice, yeah. I have contracts at franchise, basically. Hot dog, you say you have contracts at franchise used to clean and charge more and got the job because I explained the charge less and have a high turnover. You might have to explain that to me a little bit. I'm not sure if I understand what you're saying. So knowing the production rate and your cost of goods, so really help you get the price quicker. but that's after you're in business, in my opinion. Starting out, just getting in the door. Yeah, starting out, you get in the door, but you have to think kind of long term. You have to think in the mindset of putting a body there. You know, you have to think because you're not all at some point. Is it? Let me see. Is it GCO? GCO. At some point, you're going to hire somebody, right? So you have to have the mindset that I'm going to start this deal off. I'm going to be cleaning this deal, but eventually I'm going to have to put a body in here. So it has to be profitable to a certain degree, or you will wind up doing what I'm doing, right? You will build the business and you will build it so massive that those contracts won't so much bother you too much. It won't hinder, it won't really uh, tamper with the bottom line, so to speak, right? Because you've already built this huge basis, huge clientele, right? And that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, if I clean those contracts myself personally, the ones that I picked up in the early on stages, then it would be profitable for me. But the fact that I'm just at a point now, I can't do that, then I put a body in there, I'm actually losing money on the deal because I came in so low on it, right? So it's like you damn if you do, you damn if you don't. You have to get in the door, right? Because you have to kind of get the ball rolling. But you have to think like, I need to get in the door. I need to get some contracts. But I also need to hire somebody eventually, or I will be hiring somebody eventually, because at some point you're going to grow and it's going to become so massive that you're going to have to outsource it, or you're going to have to put a subcontractor in there, or have to put an employee in there, right? So let me see here. See here what everybody is talking about. Value overload, yeah. What's the price of software estimate? If you guys are interested in my estimate breakdown, it's bookfabiohart@gmail.com, bookfabiohart at gmail.com. If you're interested, it's up to you guys. It's you do or you don't have to. It's cool. I'm just starting out. Literally, just got my LLC. I'm in need of help. Are you willing to do mentor for pay? Yeah. I call it coaching. So I will give you coaching. You just email me. My assistant Jasmine would give you the rundown on that. That's bookfabiohart@gmail.com if you're looking for coaching. Bookfabiohart@gmail.com. BOOKF like Frank, A like Apple, B like boy, IOHART@gmail.com. Let me see here. Hire out since day one. Just got out of my own facility. Been watching your videos for years. Thanks for all your. Oh, you're welcome, G-Co. Thanks, bud. I'm glad I can help you. I love to hear those good stories, man. If can you post your email? Hey, somebody, post my email. I don't know how to pin it or post it. I don't want to mess it up. bookfabiohart@gmail.com. That's BOOKF like Frank, A like Apple, B like boy, IOHART@gmail.com. One of my subscribers, they're gonna post it shortly. I'm sure somebody's gonna help me out with that. Bookfabiohart@gmail.com if you're looking for, like, coaching or something like that, estimate breakdown, whatever. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, dude. I like it. And let me know, guys. Don't hold back on your stories. If you get a deal or you got something that's unique, something that I haven't spoke about, or something that's going on that's just really unique for your situation, email me. Let me know. Yep. Email me. Let me know. It's no E in there. It's bookfabiohart without the E @gmail.com. That's BOOKF like Frank, A like Apple, B like boy, IOHART @gmail.com. I'm trying to read these comments here. Hey Fabio, hope all is well. Do any of your employees Try to learn from you or ask you any advice. Um, no, I can't say. I do have loyal employees. They ask job pertaining questions, you know, but not in a stand like they want to run their own commercial cleaning business. I think everybody that worked for me genuinely like working for me, right? Um, I don't really have any like employee problems or anything like that. But yeah, no, they really don't ask any questions in terms of, about the business itself, how to start the business or about going into the business. And even if they did, I would share it. But they don't ask. It's always work related stuff, always work related stuff. So let me see here. I'm certified with house cleaning. Also certified carpet cleaning and restoration. Is it a good add-on service, floor care? Yeah, any add-on service. Any add-on service. The thing is when you add on new service, guys, make sure you perfect whatever your niche market is. Whatever you started first, whether it's commercial cleaning and you went on to residential, or whether you started residential and you're going on to power washing or window washing, window cleaning, that type of thing, right? Whatever niche you decide to advance in, right, that you like to go further in, make sure you dominate your initial niche, right? Before you move on, because if you try to run everything together, what happen is you just have a big terrible mistake, right? You won't be making no money, right? Because you're not getting contracts in the floor, you're not getting carpet cleaning jobs, you're not getting commercial cleaning, you're not getting residential cleaning jobs. It's just going to be hard to balance the business. But it's kind of like, and I like to use these people all the time. It's like the millionaires and billionaires out here. You got, let's say, like Puff Daddy or Jay-Z, right? They started off as rappers, right? And then they got into liquor, branding liquor and that type of thing, right? Then they went on from liquor to having, Sean John or Rockaware or whatever the case is. The fashion line, right? The clothing line. Okay, and then they move on from that to doing whatever, right? Whatever else they decide that they want to jump into or they want to sell, right? Books and this and that, right? So, but we know them. And when I say Jay-Z or when I say Diddy or Puff Daddy or whatever he goes by now, when I say them, you immediately correlate their name with music or rappers or producers or whatever the case is. You know exactly what they do, right? Immediately, right? Because that was their initial thing. That's what they came into. That's what we know them for. Now, over time, we learn to know them for, their colognes and their vodkas and their liquors and their clothing brands and things like that. Again, but they niche market in the beginning was the music, the producing, the rapping, or whatever that is, okay? And I just use that as an example, guys. We could use a lot of other business and entrepreneurs that did the same thing, like Donald Trump. Donald Trump, he started off with real estate, right? He was into commercial real estate, right? He did residential real estate, that type of thing. Then he went on and invested in casinos, and he got Trump water and Trump this and Trump ties and Trump suits and Trump and Trump this. Now he's Trump of America, right? And then after the presidency thing is over, then he's going to go back to being Trump this and Trump book and Trump, right? But when I say Donald Trump, immediately what we know him for, just off the top, is not president of the United States. We know him for real estate, right? A developer, commercial developer, right? That's what he do. Okay, so again, we know people for certain things. They nail that niche market, and then they start branching out to different things. And that's the way I suggest you guys do. That's how I started off, because in the beginning I started trying to do residential cleaning and commercial cleaning, and I was just going to, whatever hit first, I was going to attack. That was what my company was going to be built around. but then I wouldn't even get in any contracts. 1 second. I'll see your question. Is it Kalo? 1 second. So I wasn't able to get any contracts doing it that way. So I had to, again, hone in on what it was that I wanted to do. Trump in jail after presidency. So I honed in on the commercial side of things. I attacked, and then I became very successful doing it, right? And once I built up some level of success, some level of revenue, you could take revenue out of one pot and go ahead and start and advance other deals, doing other endeavors or other investments or whatever the case is. Okay, so that's how I would suggest people do it. I know people want to do a lot of different things. People want to be a lot of things to everybody, but you don't want to start off that way. You want to eventually get that way. If that makes sense, guys. Let me see here. Do I recommend seminars or certifications? There's nothing wrong with that. I look at it like college, right? Or high school. Can you be successful without a high school diploma? Yeah. Can you be successful with the high school diploma? Yeah. Can you be successful without a college degree? Yeah. Can you be successful with a college degree? So that's the way I look at those certifications and things like that. It just depends on the individual. It depends on the individual. It depends on your mindset. It depends on how aggressive you want to attack. I would never tell anybody, yes, it's a must you do it. It's a must you do it. Now, I have went to some of those type of seminars, right? Took notes, those type of things. Now, I'm not going to lie. I don't have any of these certifications, right? I don't have these certifications because I attack the business from a whole different stand. Okay, so that's an individual thing I would suggest. It doesn't hurt to have, right? But it does look good when you tell, the new client, hey, we have this certification and this certification. They look at you a little different, like, okay, and make you more polished, more posh, at least to the client eyes, right? But if you don't bring it up, a lot of times they don't even ask if you have those credentials, right? It's just not something that they off top just ask. Do you have, these certain certifications or certifications, or you have these certain certificates or whatever, right? Just not something that they ask. Or have you attended this seminar? Or have you thought about that seminar? Right? It's just something that just don't normally happen. So again, to each his own on that, but I wouldn't tell you not to do it, but I wouldn't tell you to do it. It just depends on you. Let me see here. Kalo. Should I have my income tax return deposit in my business account or my personal account? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I would just, to keep it simple, I would just have it deposit in my personal account, since it is a W-2 matter. It's a personal employee type of thing, and then you can always move funds from there, right? You can call in and have it. I don't know how your banking is, but I know with my bank, it's just a matter of a phone call. I could press 1 for this, 2 for that, and instantly have funds transferred from one account to another account. So either that, or you can just go in physically and take money out and then move funds how you want to move it. But I would probably to keep it simple, I would probably have it go into my personal account. But I don't believe that it really even matter. I don't think the IRS is really even paying attention to whatever account it go into. It's just whatever account you have on the file, as long as they have the right information, they just going to drop the money in whatever account, right? Or whatever card, you can get it loaded up on like a Rush card or some like a NetSpend, these type of cards. You can just have the money loaded up on a card too. So, I think that's a matter of, choice, whichever you choose. Let's see here. Trump will be in jail after he finished his presidency. Possible, it's possible. I think the powers to be, like Trump positioning, if you will. You know, you got a huge space of people that don't, and then you have people that do. Strange question. Yeah, that's called for police. At certain buildings, you have to get clear for governmental offices and things like that. So let me get to RM. Let me see. Strange question. Is this mostly male dominated? Yes, from a commercial side. On a more residential side, or maid side, it's women. I strongly discourage. I was strongly discouraged from even making the attempt to start in a cleaning business. Why? Why was you strongly discouraged? I had to get an FBI clearance to clean police stations. Yep, I have a police station myself. I know what that's like. Yep, I have schools, like private schools, that type of thing. Let me see. A woman would absolutely easily destroy me in my market. Let me see here. Yeah, see, the thing is, man, and I had that same type of mentality, but it wasn't about male or female. When I first started, it was just the competition itself. Like, I swear, when I first started, I would drive down the street and it seemed, how you get a new car? And it seemed like everybody, after you got the car, it seemed like everybody's driving your car, right? The same color, the same rims, the same everything, right? The model. It's like, man, I get this car and everybody got it. The thing is, the car been out there. It's just now that you have that car, you recognize it more, right? And that's kind of how it was in the cleaning business. It's like the cleaning business is like every time I drive down the street, it seemed like it was somebody's car, somebody truck, somebody van, and it says, and you know where it says established in 1936, 1956, and I'm just looking at this shit. I'm at the stoplight. I'm like, yeah, I know they have to have $1 million, man. They was before I was born, right? So they was established in 1956. And then I'll look at the type of van that they have or the truck, and I'll judge it like, oh, it's not the top of the line van right there, though, right? They got nice little artwork on the van, but it's relatively an old model. And look like the muffler is hanging at the bottom a little bit. I got time to catch up. That was my mindset, right? It seemed like everywhere I went, where then I see Molly Mae with their little pink and purple thing, and it say Molly Mae on the door, and I'm like, what the fuck, right? So soon as the light turned green, I would try to take off, make sure Molly Mae, I try to smoke them, right? Because you feel some type of way, like I feel some type of way, like all of these damn cleaning companies. Now I want to do cleaning, and everybody got a damn cleaning company. But the fact of the matter is, the cleaning company's been out there. So with me, it wasn't a matter of a male or female. It was just, you know, uh, did I really feel that I had what it take to conquer and just really make shit go, make shit happen. So, but yeah, that's kind of how it was. So I totally understand that. Let me see here. It matter. I guess I started anyway. Just Interested in your opinion. Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you did, RM. I'm glad you started anyway. It is definitely worth it. Preferred vendor programs. Most commercial accounts outsource their service needs to outsourcing companies. Do you know any major outsourcing companies? Um, I can't say that I do. I wouldn't say that most outsource. Um, and just because most outsource don't mean you necessarily have to do it. Again, guys, the thing is, I feel like in the beginning, and here's the thing, like it's good to outsource, but I feel like the more you know in the very very beginning, the better it is, right, for you. Um, let me see. Headphones while working. What do I think? Uh, I'll come right back to that. Stay with me, bud. But like I say, the more you know in the beginning, guys, you can eventually outsource, but you want to know as much as possible. Okay, from every angle, from every side, you want to know as much as possible about the cleaning business, about your niche market. I don't care if it's residential, I don't care if it's commercial, I don't care if it's window washing, I don't care what it is. You want to know as much as possible, okay? Much as possible. But outsourcing is it's a good thing. It definitely clear a space where you can do other things. But no, I don't know any companies that come to mind right offhand. But if you email me at Fabio, bookfabio at gmail.com, book Fabio Hart at gmail.com, bookfabiohart at gmail.com. That's BOOK, F like Frank, A like Apple, B like boy, IOHART at gmail.com. I might be able to supply that for you. Okay. Let me see here. Headphones while working. Okay. I'm sorry, Danny. I was reading another comment. Headphones while working. Yeah, I love headphones. Even when I'm cleaning, I think I have my pair on me. Might be in the car. But I don't even do the cleaning anymore. I kind of just walk around the facility and I still have my headphones because I listen to motivational stuff and audiobooks. But I don't suggest that you have both ears plugged in, right? I don't suggest that you have both ears plugged in. If you do, to make it low, don't have them turned up sky high because you want to be able to hear your surroundings. I tend to just have one ear plugged in and one ear out. So, but I'm not against that. I think that helps with the job, right? Awesome Q&A. I have to leave, unfortunately. I got a lot from you today, Fabio. Thanks. A lot of notes to organize. Yeah, not a problem. Work phone, not a problem. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thanks, buddy. I agree. Not a problem, Dan. Not a problem. Not a problem. You guys have any more questions for me? Again, like I say, the reason for this video is to really kind of help you guys zone in. Like I say, I get a lot of emails. I do a lot of coaching calls. Even when I'm not online, guys, I'm still approachable. So at any time, you can email me. It still stand. Never flip on you guys. If you have deals, again, I try my hardest to help you guys get into those contracts. There's people that don't know what to charge and don't have an idea, and I can generally help you over the phone, help you put together your estimate, put together your bid. You know, if you kind of share with me what's going on, give me some details, we can kind of bounce some things, and I do that part for free. I don't even charge for that. And the fact that I do that for free also means that I get a lot of requests for that. Unfortunately, I'm not able to meet everybody's need, but I do try to get back to everyone. I try so hard. You can't forget that I do have my business, but I do try to help everybody get their proposals in, get their estimate, get their quotes in, because again, like I say, time is of the essence, you know. So if you did a walkthrough yesterday, the object of the game is to, you know, try to get those numbers in today, right? uh, or you know, within 48 hours at least. But I try to shoot for 24. I tell people 24 to 48 hours, 48 being the absolute longest, but you want to get it in as quickly as possible, I suggest. Okay. But there's no change on that, guys. If you have a deal that you don't know how to charge for, um, just emailed you. Thank you. Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. I'll check the email there. The black cleaner. I'm gonna come right back to you, dude. Somebody said they just email me. Okay, okay. Yeah, so yeah, so that's the whole premise of the video, guys. If you're just joining me, go ahead, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, guys. I would greatly appreciate you. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. As you see, I don't get a chance to get on the channel as much, but when I do, I try to be very, very impactful. I try to give you guys the most up-to-date information as possible. Okay, so go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Let's get those likes up. I would greatly appreciate you if you really rock with me. Help me get those likes up, guys. I appreciate you. Let me see here. You say you've been trying a couple of years now to do what, Jico? Let me see. Misunderstood. Question. Yeah, to shoes. Well, I guess that as far as like the Marriott hotels, different things like that, I guess that depend on, you know, perhaps where you're at in the country, because I have a subscriber, her name is Darnella, and she had major chain hotels that she cleaned for. She didn't have to go through any outside companies or any outside vendor type of companies to pick up that contract. She went directly through uh, the headquarters for Marriott. I mean, they told her where to go and certain people that she had to talk to. But she got hired right in. She has multiple hotels in Illinois. So yeah, I guess it kind of just depends. But I can definitely get that information over to you if you want to go ahead and email me. I promise you. Just put in the subject vendors. So it'll jog my mind. I remember exactly what it's about. Most likely my assistant will get to the email before, but once she explained to me what's going on, then we'll be able to get that up. We'll be able to get that information over to you, I promise. Oh, you reached out to my company to try to get a walkthrough? Oh, I think I remember your story, Gico. I don't know if you're who I'm thinking of. I because it's a lot of people that watch my videos that went from homeless to really making, you know, two, three, four, $5,000 a month in reoccurring income, right? Reoccurring revenue, right? So I'm not sure if you're one, but I was talking to one guy, he had like this little soccer mom van, and he was homeless, older guy, and he was watching my videos, and this been many many years now, and I was able to help him make that transition. Right, he didn't even have a suit. He didn't have like, right, he was like totally homeless, didn't have nothing. Kind of gave him a few ideas, a few things to try, and it worked for him. So I'm glad that that just goes to show I like stories like that. I wish you emailed me and kind of tell me your story. I talk a lot about this on my Facebook. I never give any names because it's kind of private, but I give like different scenarios and different things that happened on my channel because I talk to a lot of people, man, and people that was in shelters, and people that had to sleep in vans, and people that was in domestic violence situations. They're trying to start their cleaning business, and people that was dealing with a hard death, and people that's on the verge of getting fired, people that's gotten fired and have no money whatsoever, but had a determination and really wanted to start their cleaning business. So again, what the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. I tell people that all the time. I really live by that. I really believe in that. And I do believe that if you want something real bad, you will find a way to get to it. I absolutely believe that, right? But you can never stop. You can never stop. It's one of those things that it has to be a must. All right, it has to be a must. It can't be a maybe. It has to be a must. Okay, because when you maybe yourself, then you create space for doubt. Sorry guys, my phone just started updating on its own. That was kind of weird. I don't know what that was about, but yeah, I had to pause that. But yeah, that create doubt. When it's just a maybe, it's a must. You must win. You have to hold yourself to some type of standard, if you will. You have to say, you know what, I'm such and such, such and such, and I must get my cleaning business off the ground. Not maybe, not should I, not could I. It's I must do it, right? And then you have to follow that up with some type of action, okay? And, like I said, it's going to be hard, guys. It's going to be hard. I'm not here to tell you that it's going to be easy and it's a cakewalk, and because I'm doing it today and it seemed like it come easy to me that it's going to come to easy. No, with me, it's a lot of trial and error, and I still don't get everything that I go after, okay? Nobody does, right? But I've been in it long enough. I made a lot of mistakes, right? I learned from a lot of other people, right? I've went to seminars and workshops. I done heard different franchise people had great ideas, where I heard the franchisee said certain things, and I'm sitting in the audience, I'm taking notes, and I done took a lot of their ideas, that was doable, that will work for me, and implement it right into what I'm doing, right? And you can do that. You can do that. Like I say, you might watch other YouTubers that have cleaning business or speak on cleaning, this type of thing. You take a few ideas here and a few ideas there, and whatever makes sense, and you utilize that and make it work for you, right? So again, I'm not one of those guys to say only listen to me and I'm the king of everything. I'm the king of hearts. I'm gonna give you everything. Right? I know a lot, but it's a lot that I don't know. And you might listen to somebody else and say, hey, this person has a pretty good idea, right? And you take that idea and then you use it with something that I'm talking about and help build your own system, okay? And that's how it works, guys. Again, there's no one way to run a cleaning business. Like people ask me about other YouTubers, right? And I say, hey, go for it. If you're interested in it, go for it. If you heard this guy, he said this, or this guy introduced you to that, go for it. I don't hate on any other YouTubers because I understand, like I said, guys, that it's more than one way to do this, right? There's no right or wrong way, right? There's, a lot of different opinions about it. It just depends on the guy that, again, that word options go. Right? You have options here on YouTube, right? You have Fabio Hart, you have such and such and such and such, and these different people. But it just depends on who you want to listen to, who advice you want to take, right? Who you feel you more gel with, right? Who make more sense to you, right? And then you just go ahead and go for what you know. Again, guys, like I say, the only person that can ever stop you from starting up your own dreams and making it to the top is you. I tell people that all the time, and I really believe in that. So I think you guys, if you don't have any more questions, guys, I go ahead and let you go. I don't want to really talk you to death. We're already over an hour here. I do greatly appreciate you guys, and I did tell myself earlier that I would come live and talk about the subject matter that I talked about. So if you guys have any more questions, let's go ahead and shoot them out while you have me. Otherwise, if you're looking for like the estimate breakdown, you're looking for coaching, you need some help with something that's going on, paperwork questions, if you have a contract, you have flyers, you have anything that you want me to take a look at, I can kind of tell you what I would do, what I would suggest, those type of things. Okay, so you can kind of make your flyer better, you can kind of make your agreement better, whatever the case, your estimate worksheet or whatever the case is, right? You can always email that stuff over to bookfabiohart@gmail.com. That's BOOK, F like Frank, A like Apple, B like boy, IOHART@gmail.com. Book Fabio Hart, all one word, at gmail.com. Book Fabio Hart at gmail.com. Again, you guys can get that over to me now. I'll be sure to take a look at that for you. Let me see. Also, you inspired me. I was working in the morning job, doing cleaning at night, but I started with a franchise and left them. Do my own. Yeah, see? Do your own thing. Yeah. How soon should you hire staff? Okay, good question. I don't put a timeline on how soon you should hire staff. I know people that hire people right away, right? Me, I'll tell you how I like to do it. In the early on stages, what I did was I worked 30 days in. I worked 30 days in, or I should say 30 to 60 days in, just depending on the nature of the account. And then I put a body in. I worked 30 to 60 days in, and then I put a body in. And the reason I did that is because I didn't have to pay no money out right away, right? If capital is an issue for you, don't have money to pay out right away when you do hire somebody, then you want to build up that revenue. So I will work, my way of building up that revenue is I will work anywhere from 30 to 60 days in any given account, and then I'll place an ad, put an ad out, interview, certain people, collect applications, that type of thing. And the best person that fit the criteria I was looking for, I will hire. Now, when I first started out, guys, it was just me and two other individuals. I started out with a 2-person team. They didn't know each other. It was just 2 females and myself. And what I did was, with the workload that I had, I would distribute, who go where, who at what time, who goes, that type of thing. It was just the 3 of us. And then as the revenue and the account started to build up, then I would put more bodies, right? I didn't want to burn anybody out. But, it was times where me and those 2 females would go from site to site, just different accounts that we had. And just to get them clean, it'd be a teamwork. Sometimes we'd go, I help them at one account, and then we leave and we go to another account. But again, the grind in the early stages is you appreciate it more, right? You appreciate that early grind more. It's just become part of your story. Let me see here. I think I have. Yeah. And how do I accept payments, you want to know, from my residential clients? Any way that they want to pay. We can accept check. Don't prefer the cash method. Sometimes you might get people to ask you, do you take Cash App? Even though I could do a Cash App, I tend not to really want to take the Cash App type of payment. Credit card is preferred because we can just automatically bill that. So it'll automatically just come off the card. So that's what we push the most. Even with my commercial clients, I push that the most. Like if they have a company card, or for the residential people, they have a residential card, especially when it's going to be reoccurring business. Like we're going to continue to clean for them week after week, month after month, year after year. It's just easy for us to keep the credit card information on file in the database. And then once it's time to bill it, then we just go ahead and bill it. Okay, and then we don't have to worry about them preparing the check or anything of the sort. We just go ahead and bill it. Now, most people, or a lot of people, won't. They will prefer to do the check thing. So as long as the check is ready on time, that's providing you invoice them on time. And I tell people that all the time. A lot of times people email me, say, Fabio, I'm not getting paid. They're 15 days late. And I ask them, I say, well, when do you normally invoice them? And I get a little intel on when they're supposed to invoice. And a lot of times they invoice late. So when you invoice late, a lot of times that check is going to come late. It's kind of like T-Mobile. That's who I have for phone service, right? Well, we know that they generally text your phone, or they email you your bill, maybe even send you a paper bill. But that's an invoice. Whether they text your phone, they send you an email, they send you a paper bill, or however they do it. That's an invoice. They telling you, hey, you use X amount of service. This is what the charges are, and you have to pay it by such and such a time, or such and such a date, whatever, right? So you know to get that payment in by that date, or where it's going to get cut off, right? Again, same thing with your utility company, guys. I mean, the list goes on and on. Your credit card bills, all of that, right? So they invoice you every month, so you can go ahead and get that payment in on time. They want the payment on time, right? So again, you have to make sure your paperwork is right, guys. You have to make sure you stay on top of that. I don't care how many contracts you get, make sure those invoices go out on time, okay? That way the check could be ready on time. Or you can, like I say, you could get set up with a processor, kind of push the, accepting credit cards method, and I push that a lot with my residential and with my commercial people. And a lot of times they go for it. It's cool. Let's see here. Can I talk about my interview process? I believe I have a video about that on here. I have like over 400 videos, so it's probably nothing cleaning wise that I haven't talked about. Yeah. Guys, have any more questions for me? Go ahead and get your questions off. Again, guys, I want you, and I'm going to reiterate this before I bring it home. Again, keep your prices down. If you're going to mark your prices up, then make sure you add other services. You want to make sure you convey that they're getting more for the buck, right? Even though, like I say, for you, in your mind, it's like, I can just do this. It's not really too bad. But you want to give that presentation in their mind that you're doing more for what you're really, really charging. If you're going to charge, a higher rate. Otherwise, like I say, come in right in the middle. Don't be too low. Don't be too high. And I'm willing to gamble if you come in right in the middle, because that's all they care about. That's all they care about. How much you're going to charge to clean this facility. How much you're going to charge to clean our building. That's all they care about, really. They want to know how much you're going to charge. Okay? So since that's the factor, since that's what they care about, again, do not give any numbers on the spot. Even though they want to know how much you're going to charge them. Make sure you reevaluate everything. You make sure that the numbers is lined up the way it's supposed to line up before you turn them in. Okay? Let's see here. You say I never addressed the logistics. I'm sure I have. I think I have at some point. Transportation in the beginning for employees, multiple accounts. How to scale those logistics. I never believed in, and correct me if I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm on the right tone for your question. Transportation for the employees. I've never been the type to provide transportation for the employees. right? Because I think if any job I ever had, any job that I ever had, it was my duty to get there, right? It was my duty to get there. So that's kind of how I look at. I mean, we're doing our job in terms of paying them, right? So you're gonna get paid, but it's their duty to get to the site, right? Now I have all women that work for me, right? And to a certain degree, they became like buddy buddy. You know, they know each other and pick each other up and kind of carpool. That do that type of thing for those that don't have a vehicle. Hopefully, I'm on the right tone with your question. I'm assuming I'm answering it. Uh, but there have been times that time went over. They didn't get out at a certain time. Some catch the bus, right? And because of the circumstances and the situations and how Detroit can be and surrounding areas, there's times where I actually went and picked up my employee and I actually took him home. There's times where their car broke down. They was caught in a crunch. They needed to get to work and I had to go pick them up and take them to work, that type of thing. So, but I don't necessarily believe in the notion of supplying them transportation. Your commercial employees load and unload. No, no. Certain sites, yes. But we at a point now where we don't have to load and unload product or equipment. We just leave it at the sites now. Oh, okay. Also building capital. Actually, your proposal 1 or 2 months in advance. This is for your viewers. Okay. Okay. Yeah. You guys have any more questions we can tackle? Again, if you guys need to reach me for anything, it's bookfabiohart@gmail.com. 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 If you guys have any questions for me. A lot of times people ask me about like paperwork. What type of paperwork should you have? Here's the thing that you guys should have. I give it out all the time. You should have an agreement, application for employees, invoices, a non-compete, a non-disclosure, a checklist, an estimate breakdown form, or some type of formula sheet that kind of help you put your numbers together, and a subcontractor contract or agreement, which is different than your regular agreement. Let's see what else. A proposal form or sheet to put together your proposal, your estimate. Let me see. I think I said invoice. And I think that's about it to start off. That's what come to mind, guys. But you definitely want those items, okay? Especially like people that are hired, we have them sign a non-disclosure, non-compete. When you get to hiring employees, you have to protect your business because sometimes your employees will leave you once they kind of get an idea of what you're charging. They feel like, hey, I can do this and try to steal the client. I talked about that many times on other videos. You want to make sure your agreement is put together well, okay? Whether you draw it up with a lawyer, whether you find one online, whatever the case is. I'm not a big fan of the online agreements, but if you got to start somewhere, you want to tighten it up, all right? You don't want to leave any holds for any errors. All right. Um, Again, you want to have an invoice because you're gonna need to invoice them. Okay, your non-compete, your non-disclosure, your subcontractor's contract or agreement. That's specifically for your subcontractors. Um, your checklist. That's paramount. I don't know if I said that on the last list, but you definitely need a checklist. That way, you and your employees, you know what you done, what you haven't done. You check it off as you go, or kind of just check it off at the end of the night, right? You're going to sign and date it, and then the client is going to sign right under you and date it to make sure that everything correlate everything for that particular day. Everything happened the way it was supposed to happen. Okay. Again, the more put together you are with your paperwork, the more put together, the better, and generally a lot of times a lot smoother everything runs. Okay. You want to have a good relationship with the client, right? You want to be able to convey a message over to them and them get the message right back to you so you guys can have a understanding. You don't want to leave any room for any carelessness. Okay, so you don't want to be careless when it comes down to your paperwork and the job duty and not getting back to the client or anything like that. You want to make sure that everything is in its perspective, right? So those are the forms that I would suggest you have first. Okay. As you grow, you might come to do different things and move a different way, or you know, have other type of things going on with your business that require you to have other type of forms and other type of situations going on. But in the beginning, those is what you really need. Okay, what I would suggest you have. Okay, um, you guys have any questions? Guys have any questions before I go here? I know I don't get a chance to get on as much, guys. Like I say, I'm actually running my business a lot of times. I do think about you guys, and as many times I say, you know what, I'm gonna go live, go and talk to my subscribers, and I don't get a chance to do it. But I do think about you guys, and I do call you guys. You know, for those that I have their number, call and check on business, see how I can be of assistance. Not selling you anything, but just to see what's going on with you guys. You know, so. But anyway, you guys have any questions? Any final questions? All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. As always, I greatly appreciate those that tune in and those that join me. And as I always say, the only person that can ever stop you from starting up your own dreams and making it to the top is definitely you. Take care.